But did you see who made the WNBA final all about herself?
Uh-oh. No, I didn't.
Angel Reese showed up wearing a double Minnesota.
But did you see who made the WNBA finals all about herself? Oh no, I didn't. Angel Reese showed up wearing a double Minnesota Lynx and Liberty jersey, posing with people after the game. Oh yeah, I thought you were. And then she said, I don't know, she mentioned she wanted to help attendance. I know how I like to elevate the league. Angel Reese has found herself back in the spotlight, and once again, not for anything noteworthy on the court. Instead, her latest stunt in New York made more waves for her outfit choices and the unmistakable, all-about-me vibe she brought to the event. It seems like Reese's main talent might just be finding the nearest camera and talking all about herself. Of course, Barstool Sports CEO Dave Portnoy had thoughts. He didn't hold back, calling out her actions as classless and saying that this isn't the kind of attention the WNBA needs. Reese talks a big game about promoting the league, but with every appearance, it's less about the sport and more about her. The reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. When you compare her to someone like Caitlin Clark, it's like night and day. Clark is grinding, growing her skills, and giving back to her community, while Reese seems more invested in keeping herself front and center. Let's delve into why Portnoy and countless fans are over Angel Reese's antics. Before we break it down, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Are you ready? Let's go. Look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball. You never would think people would be talking about women's basketball. People are showing up to games. We have celebrities coming to games, sold-out arenas. Angel Reese has been making the rounds on various media platforms and events, claiming her goal is to bring attention to women's basketball. Yet, strangely enough, each of these appearances seems to center more around herself than the sport she's supposedly promoting. Whether it's a podcast, a magazine feature, a red carpet event, or a courtside appearance, Reese's talking points rarely stray far from her personal brand. While self-promotion isn't new in sports, fans are increasingly noticing how her focus on herself might actually be overshadowing her alleged intent of spotlighting the WNBA. Some speculate that this is all part of a strategy to keep herself relevant. After all, her play on the court hasn't exactly been turning heads for the right reasons, especially when compared to players like Caitlin Clark, who lets her game speak volumes without the need for constant attention. The irony here is that in trying to stay in the limelight, Reese might be diverting it away from the WNBA's real talents and storylines. For someone who claims to want more people watching women's basketball, her moves feel more like solo performances than team efforts. Imagine if your first-round draft pick had the season she had, the controversy, the injury, getting cut out, and then starting a podcast gossiping about everything in the league as a rookie. Please, yeah. Meanwhile, Caitlin's head is down. You don't hear a peep from her. She cares about the team and the sport. So why is she so focused on herself? It could be a simple case of needing the attention or a calculated move to remain a big name. But if her goal is truly to promote women's basketball, why do most of her appearances seem more like solo showcases than genuine attempts to spotlight the sport? Fans and commentators are picking up on this, raising questions about whether her media strategy is doing more harm than good for the league. In a sport where teamwork is everything, Reese's self-centered approach might be a turnoff for fans who crave substance over spectacle. The message she's sending seems to be less about unity and more about individual fame, and that's a risky line to walk when trying to elevate a league. You're in the league and you're wearing two other teams' colors. Aren't you supposed to be mad you're not in the final? Supposed to drive you nuts? Angel Reese's appearance at the WNBA Finals in New York drew quite the crowd, but not all of it was positive. Decked out in a bold, eye-catching outfit, Reese seemed more interested in being seen than blending in. While that might fly in entertainment circles, her choice of attire and attitude didn't exactly resonate well among WNBA fans or critics. For someone supposed to be promoting the league, her focus on the spotlight rather than the event only intensified the critiques. This display only added fuel to the already simmering conversation about Reese's penchant for attention over genuine support for women's basketball. What really raised eyebrows was Reese's decision to hang out with former coach Teresa Weatherspoon, who was recently fired amid controversies about her player favoritism and questionable coaching choices. What? You walk in the city talk to me. Weatherspoon's downfall tied to accusations of putting personal player interests above the team created waves in the league. Fans saw Reese's association with her as an endorsement of Weatherspoon's controversial approach. especially since Reese's own reputation includes similar criticisms about her emphasis on personal stats over team play. Whether intentional or not, the timing and optics of Reese's connection to Weatherspoon at such a major event seemed tone-deaf to the ongoing conversation around professionalism and team-oriented play in the WNBA. According to league sources, Weatherspoon had lost the locker room because of a culture that catered to the needs of a few players. Dear Lord, critics, especially those like Dave Portnoy, were quick to react to Reese's finals appearance. Portnoy, who's never been shy about calling out what he sees as classless behavior, wasted no time highlighting how this event felt more like Reese's personal fashion show than a genuine show of support for the league. For Reese, it seems every public appearance is another opportunity to promote herself, and Portnoy's scathing commentary emphasizes the growing public sentiment that Reese's priorities are once again about her own image rather than the league's welfare. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We know watching this video takes some of your time, and we appreciate you. Now, back to the action. Angel Reese put up 19 rebounds and 17 points. Forget that Camila Cardosa, the other rookie on that team, had a better stat line, scored more points, shot 60%, while Angel shot 30%, which is like good for her. Forget that Angel Reese is a generational rebounder, possibly a very good rebounder, but she can't shoot a lick, one of the worst shooters in the league, like 30% from a foot out. It's disgusting. Doesn't pass, doesn't do anything one step. She's a great rebounder, does make her team better. Dave Portnoy's critiques of Angel Reese's latest public appearance at the WNBA Finals are no exception to his ongoing commentary. His disapproval stems from what he sees as Reese's consistent lack of professionalism during this finals event. Portnoy doubled down, highlighting how Reese's choice of clothing and overall attitude signaled to him a lack of respect for the sport. To Portnoy, Reese's appearance wasn't about supporting the WNBA but about making herself the center of attention. This isn't the first time Portnoy has openly disapproved of Reese's behavior. He's previously made jabs at her self-centered style, calling her out for using every opportunity to draw attention to herself, including on social media. In a culture where athletes are increasingly vocal about their brand, Portnoy has taken a hard line, especially when it comes to players he feels are overshadowing team success. Reese's behavior to him seems like the opposite of what basketball players, particularly in the WNBA, should be representing. She's a rookie in the league whose team struggled, got cut out at the end of the season with an injury, and then started a podcast. 5 seconds into the thing, creating all this controversy. She showed up there. Moreover, Portnoy has hinted at how different Reese's public behavior might be perceived if she were an NBA player. He believes her self-promotion wouldn't be tolerated in men's professional leagues, where he argues respect for teammates and coaches is more rigorously enforced. Portnoy's stance is that Reese's antics are hurting her image and alienating a fan base that values players who put the game first. This ongoing feud between Portnoy and Reese highlights a broader cultural conversation about how athletes handle fame. While Portnoy acknowledges the increased media attention Reese brings to women's sports, he insists she is prioritizing her own brand over meaningful contributions to the WNBA. As long as Reese remains in the spotlight, Portnoy appears poised to critique what he sees as her self-serving approach, adding fuel to the fire. Portnoy has also drawn direct comparisons between Reese and Caitlin Clark in his eyes. Where Clark channels her energy into elevating her game and uplifting her team, Reese uses every opportunity to grab the spotlight. For fans who value humility and focus in sports, Portnoy's criticisms reinforce a sentiment that there's a distinct contrast between the two athletes' approaches. Reese can't shoot a lick, one of the worst shooters in the league, like 30% from a foot out. It's disgusting. Doesn't pass, doesn't do anything one step. She's a great rebounder, doesn't make her team better. The contrast between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark couldn't be more striking. While Reese is busy making headlines for her fashion, high-profile friendships, and media appearances, Clark has been grinding away, focused on her game, and leaving an undeniable mark on the court. Clark's offseason has been filled with events, time spent with loved ones, and a rigorous training schedule actions that resonate deeply with fans and underscore her commitment to the sport. Clark has shattered records, not by seeking the spotlight, but by letting her game speak volumes. Her humility and dedication have positioned her not just as a basketball prodigy, but as an inspiration to fans of all ages. While Reese leans heavily on her bold personality to capture media attention, Clark's natural charisma comes from her quiet determination, something many find refreshing in today's era of self-promotion. Clark has been known to spend hours post-game with fans, signing autographs, taking photos, and simply connecting with the people who support her. She's also led numerous community initiatives, emphasizing her desire to give back something that's rooted her firmly in fans' hearts. "Honestly, it makes me smile in return," Clark said. "For me, I'm just myself. That's what I try to be. I try to just be a great role model for them, and I think it speaks to how I was raised as a kid. I've loved every second of playing sports, but also my parents always preached there's so much more to life than just sports." This grounded approach to fame only sharpens the contrast with Reese, who seems more focused on building her individual brand. While Reese courts controversy, Clark cultivates camaraderie. Where Reese's actions often spark backlash, Clark inspires admiration. The results speak for themselves. Fans can feel the authenticity in Clark's efforts and are naturally drawn to her. Her story isn't about constant self-promotion, it's about growth, hard work, and a genuine love for basketball. As Reese doubles down on her media persona, Clark quietly elevates the Fever and the WNBA at large. She's quickly become the face of a league with fans hungry for real, high-level basketball, not for fame-seeking controversies. With every three-pointer, record, and moment spent with her community, Clark solidifies her role as not only the future of the WNBA but a global ambassador for women's basketball. It's a lesson in contrast. While Reese brings attention to herself, Clark brings attention to the sport. Not everybody is Michael Jordan, not everyone is Steph Curry. Some people are Andre Drummond, some people are a poor man's Dennis Rodman, some people are Rudy Gobert, but you don't hear Rudy Gobert up for league MVP or talked about in the same breath as the great players. Portnoy's recent criticisms are far from his first confrontation with Angel Reese's public image. Over the past year, Portnoy has frequently pointed out what he sees as Reese's self-centered attitude, starting from her infamous rivalry with Caitlin Clark. Reese's actions, like the "you can't see me" gesture directed toward Clark, set off a firestorm of commentary that Portnoy eagerly jumped into. He argued that Reese's taunting was less about celebrating a victory with her team and more about drawing attention to herself. Even at the cost of sportsmanship, Portnoy has openly contrasted Reese's playstyle and demeanor with that of Clark, consistently emphasizing the latter's humble approach to fame. Reese's notoriety on the court for stat padding is a recurring theme in Portnoy's criticisms. Unlike Clark, whose contributions translate into overall team success, Portnoy has claimed that Reese's numbers are often self-serving and done at the expense of team cohesion. To Portnoy, this drama paints a picture of Reese as a player whose self-interest risks destabilizing her team. Her coach got fired because of favoring certain players every night. "Look, as an organization, we just felt it was time to make a change. There are just private issues that I think we will keep in the sky." The sharp contrast between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark highlights two athletes heading in wildly different directions. While Reese may keep grabbing attention for off-court controversies, it's